With the Hall of Fame game in the books, there is not a better time to do an NFL mock draft. And here with me today is Alex from the Hail Mary podcast. Well, hello, Alex.
Hello. Glad to be actually on the channel officially. You've been on my channel many times. So
yes, I have been around.
You've been around.
Yeah. And if you don't know what's crack-lacking, it's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know. So, Alex, what are we doing today? What are we doing?
Are having some fun. We're going to be doing a 2-round mock draft. I'm going to be taking the AFC, and our good old boy Broshmo here is going to be taking the NFC, just to keep it consistent, just to keep it on a nice little draft pattern, projection, and finale. So I'm obviously going to be kicking it off because we start off with the Texans. Obviously, if you guys don't know, this is going to be based off of Vegas odds. So if we complain about the draft order, it ain't our faults.
Shut up.
So starting off with the number 1 overall pick, I love my boy KT. KT's awesome. Went to my high school. Great guy. However, in the end of the day, a quarterback is the most valuable position, as well as the fact that we discussed this off camera, but the next year quarterback class is not that good. So it's not like you're going to be waiting 1 year for like a Trevor Lawrence style talent. So I think it's rational to go with the man, the myth, the legend, Spencer Rattler. And I don't really think I need to talk much more about him. He is extremely talented. I think he is the bona fide number 1 guy after I was a huge fan of Mr. Sam Howell.
Yeah, you might want to apologize to the DJU fans out there.
DJ Uwe Ungalele.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
I got you on that one. No, I mean, DJ is solid, but I don't think he's going to be of the unique echelon that Spencer Rattler is right now.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I think he's close. But then again, if you're not picking first, then
yeah,
you got to worry about what's after. So just take care of it now. And speaking of take care of it now, the Detroit Lions, I am too going to go with a quarterback in Sam Howell. I think worst case scenario is you get another Jared Goff, but best part, he's on a rookie deal opposed to, well, what they're paying Goff now. You know, this is a rebuild. We're up here. Why not just go ahead, get our franchise quarterback? I don't think there's that big of a difference between Rattler and Howell as of right now. Of course, we got a whole season to play. But yeah, no, I like what I'm doing here. I'm already feeling good.
I ain't gonna blame you. I just believe in the fact that Jared Goff can do well with a solid offensive line and receiving core. But again, Sam Howell provides far more upside and is pretty much a base floor, Jared Goff. So
yeah, and compared to Goff, you know, he's basically free.
Exactly. That's 100% true. So I'm gonna be back here at the number 3 pick with the Jaguars, and I have a big man crush on this big man. He is absolutely athletic, unbelievable, and I actually, in fact, hated him for a time, messaging Broshmo saying, this guy sucks, not realizing it's the first game he ever played at right tackle, and then watch his progression, voice crack, love that, over the entire year to play against the Ohio State University in the championship and looking like a bona fide number 1 tackle. Evan Neal is everything you were looking for. He's going to be playing left tackle this year, and he could be the true answer to what happened with Jawan Taylor. Or, of course, if you guys are still trying to figure that out, could play guard, could do whatever the heck you want. What you want to do is make sure Trevor Lawrence's skin and bones do not end up being cracked by the fact that you have a shit offensive line. So there you go.
Let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest and the best place to go play fantasy football for big cash prizes. Ooh, and let me tell you, Underdog, they got you covered. All you have to do is draft. No need to worry about injuries, waivers, or lineups. Underdog, they got you covered. So go online or use the app, which is pretty slick, and just draft a season-long best ball team, and they take care of the rest. No in-season management required. And they're willing to give you $25 when you sign up so you can take a shot in their $1 million fantasy football tournament, or you can play in some other best ball leagues, or even make prop bets. Now you get that free $25 on Underdog when you use the promo code BROSHMO. It's free to sign up, so use promo code BROSHMO. Bam, you get your $25 once you make your first deposit. So drop a buck in there, bam, you got $26. You big spender, y'all baller. But go ahead, support Underdog. It helps me out. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And if you're looking for more fantasy content from me, check me out on TikTok at Broshmo. The link's in the description below.
I'm still on a roll though here, right?
Yeah, you got the next two, my friend.
Ayo. So for the Jets, I mean, at this point, we all know Robert Saleh has his way with edge players, right? You got Nick Bosa in there. You got D Ford, who even produced and did a really damn good job there. So why not get your Nick Bosa? KT is a generational style of talent. He is very similar to Chase Young in my mind. I know that Broshmo here has another style of edge player that is above him. However, I just believe KT is an absolute fit and an absolute stud. Take him. He's going to be an absolute beast.
Yeah, neither of those guys are wrong picks anyway, so.
Yeah, no, both of them are absolutely amazing. We're going to be definitely seeing that other guy being taken very soon. But at number 5, I considered taking your guy who I just mentioned, i.e. DeMarvin Leal.
Okay, I was like, we're going to keep referring to him as like Voldemort. Thou shalt who not be named.
I was like, the name that shall not be said. No, but you just can't pass up on Derek Stingley. You know, the corners, yeah, they signed some big contracts, and I believe they're 3-year contracts, maybe even less than that. I don't think that Chidobe Awuzie is going to stop me from getting another extremely high-level talent in Derek Stingley Jr. And plus, we're in a division where, I mean, if you are able to shut down the Ravens pass game, then at least you can load the box. So, you know, you can really just either pick apart Lamar, do whatever the hell you want. The Steelers, we ain't going to have a damn good quarterback. Fun fact, I'm a Steelers fan. So we're not going to have a damn good quarterback. And spoiler alert, probably not in this draft either. And
you're welcome.
And yeah, I mean, it's just more easy pickings right there. And then the Browns, you know, we don't even know what's going to happen, but Baker Mayfield could be given some gifts to Derek Stingley Jr. There you go.
Ooh, man. Well, speaking of Baker Mayfield, I don't know why I bring that up, because the only comparison I can make is I'm getting a quarterback, Malik Willis.
Okay.
Yeah, I know, right? What a segue. So smooth. Yeah, I'm not that big a fan of Jalen Hurts. I mean, so much so that they've been talking about, well, allegedly about getting Deshaun Watson. So I feel like at this point, if they're picking at 6, this is their pick, by the way, BT Dubs. You're taking a quarterback. Quarterbacks are typically overvalued, overdrafted, I think is a better word. While I may have Willis, I think he's like 15 or 16 on my board.
Same.
I'm willing to take him here in the top 10. So he's got talent. He's got tools. Got tools. He doesn't necessarily have Trey Lance tools, but I don't think he's that far off.
I will say this. I think that you need to take Malik Willis there because there's a team in your own division that's next that might be looking to be able to.
And I think there was a good chance I would have if he was on the board, since I am picking for them. Fortunately, he's not. They're still gonna have to stick it out with DJ. I don't think DJ's bad. I just feel like he's kind of this like middle of the road quarterback at this point.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go with DeMarvin Leal. I think is best player on the board. Their secondary is kind of already in place, so it didn't feel great taking like a Hamilton or Joseph or Elam here. Yeah. I know a lot of people might bring up Leonard Williams. I think they could get out of his deal after 2 years, and regardless, like I just love the versatility of a guy like Leal, however the hell you say his name. He can play on the outside of the tackle. He can play 3 to 5 tech. He's just great, dude. He's just great. And I do have him over Thibodeaux right now. It's like 1A, 1B, man. It's 1A, 1B. It's real close.
Yep.
And then the Atlanta Falcons. Let's continue this roll. I'm going Kaiir Elam. Corner is by far one of the biggest needs in this class. Well, in this class for the Falcons. So they should address it this class.
Yeah.
And pairing them up with AJ Terrell, 2 young corners, instantly becomes one of the better young corner groups here. And then Kyle Hamilton going to the Panthers. Jeremy Chin, apparently he's supposed to be like the cover 1 guy, the freelancer, you know. Regardless, Hamilton, he's got a great versatility to him. Jeremy Chin has great versatility to him. I essentially went best guy on the board. So I kind of like this too. Both these guys, they could come in and play linebacker as well. Like I said, versatility out the wazoo.
Yeah.
And then to end my, go on. Sorry, I was trying to run through it.
No, it's Matt Rule. So I'm sure that he's going to have a perfect role for Kyle Hamilton.
Oh yeah, and Phil Snow is a wonderful defensive coordinator.
Yeah, exactly.
Golly. Yeah. Tyler Linderbaum. He's going here at 10. I don't feel great picking any other quarterback this early. And I figured, you know what? Let's address the offensive interior. I think Linderbaum can play center. He can play guard. Some of y'all might be like Nick Gates. Nick Gates, he has experience literally everywhere on the line. He can move to right tackle if need be. You can move him to right guard, left guard, whatever. The point is they need to address it regardless. Linderbaum is fantastic. I think he's in my top 10. I can't remember. If not top 15.
He's, I believe, my number 8 guy on the board right now. And that's not copying you. That was just straight up. You heard me. I watched the tape live with you. So
yeah. And you're typically like, if I feel good about offensive lineman, I'm like, you're like, hey, reinsure me that this guy's good. All right. Yeah. I don't again. It's one of my least confident evaluations. Just not that familiar with the position, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Couldn't tell.
Well, come on. So you were just talking about how DJ is a middle of the road quarterback, right?
Yeah.
However, middle of the road quarterbacks might not create as much desperation as a number 32 quarterback in the league at best. That is going to be what the Broncos are dealing with right now. I'm going to be going to my
terrible way to talk about Teddy Bridgewater, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. I might be giving him too much credit. But I'm going to be going to my high school quarterback, Matt Corral, out of Ole Miss. Somebody where, the worst case scenario, he ends up having his 4 to 6 pick games. But to be honest, is he going to do much worse than what you would have already had with Drew Lock? I don't think so. He adds a nice mobility factor to the game, and he has the potential to be that 6th touchdown Matt Corral with 500 yards. And again, if he gets his mentality down, which I know he has some temper issues, he can certainly be a true leader in the locker room. I know he's a good guy.
Yeah, so, the upside's there.
The upside's unbelievable. I count him to an on-sale Peyton Manning. Like, just somebody who can just be a straight gunslinger, but,
This is why I don't put out comps.
Yeah, exactly. Well, on sale, it pretty much just washes away the entire idea of a comp, but that's okay. Number 12, this is going to be one of my favorite players in the entire draft. I thought, well, the secondary is not good for the Raiders. So, corners, you have some really good ones left on the board, right? Some excellent ones. However, we saw actually with the Kansas City Chiefs a couple of years ago that actually having the best safeties can minimize the lack of effectiveness of corners. They have Trevon Merrick, an absolutely amazing safety, great steal. I'd pick like 47, something like that.
Yeah,
I think
42.
It might have been 42.
I could be wrong.
It could. It's somewhere there.
Second round.
So, yes, the second round. So that's a steal. But they're still missing one more legitimate piece. And I have a huge crush, and I'm sure a lot of people will by the time draft time comes around. Brandon Joseph, Northwestern. If you guys don't know him, he is the man who made that insane one-hand interception against Justin Fields in the Big Ten championship. He can play anywhere, extremely mobile, and I think he will work to make a nasty duo, especially in division with Mecole Hardman as well as Tyreek Hill. It's desperately needed. So
yeah, no, I love Joseph. I'm glad you liked him as much as I did. Like, I'm a sucker for rangy safeties, so.
Oh yeah, big fan.
Amon Gardner. I'm going. The Cardinals need the sauce. They need some more depth at corner. You're kind of hoping that Marco Wilson or Tay Gowan. You're kind of hoping at least one of those guys works out. They brought back Robert Alford. He's really just not the future in the nicest way possible. They brought in Malcolm Butler too, right?
Yeah, they did. They're putting Band-Aids over a open fracture.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and address this now. I like Byron. Byron Murphy, right? He was playing their slot. I heard he might be playing outside more. I don't know. I'll believe it when I see it, and then we'll see how he does. But yeah, regardless, there's no harm adding depth to the position. Like what Tampa Bay did, you keep addressing it until you get it right.
Yeah, I agree.
With the Washington football team, I would have liked to get a quarterback. For me, it's a little too rich at this point, so I'm gonna go with Jackson Kirkland, a guy that because Cornelius Lucas, he's at the end of his deal after this season. Leno's on a 1-year deal. Brandon Sheriff, he is essentially he's on the franchise tag. So, so if you think Kirkland's a guard, you could play him there at right guard, or you could play him at one of the tackle spots. I know that they got Samuel Cosme, but again, you could start opposite. I think it's Sadiq Charles. I think he's actually moving to left guard.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I will say this, like my guy, RJ Gillen, who's the director of scouting for the 49ers, he said that he was shocked that Samuel Cosme was taken that high. He said he knew nobody who had anything higher than a mid-third on him. So
that's wild. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought he was solid all around, but that might just mean that he might be subpar all around in the NFL.
That's it. Which it doesn't surprise me.
No.
It is what it is.
Yes, it is.
I have one more, right? I have the Minnesota Vikings. I ended up going with Andrew Booth.
Yes.
He is, they just lost Jeff Gladney. Patrick Peterson is a 1-year deal, but I mean, he could stick around, but still, you want to look to the future. Cameron Dantzler, I've heard, might move to the slot. I know that they brought back Mackenzie Alexander, but he's kind of a journeyman at this point. Even if they keep Dantzler on the outside, like, Booth's a wonderful talent, very, very athletic. He was kind of, I think, a spot starter last year here and there. So we're going to see a lot more of him. But in what we did see from him last year, he was very good. So, I like this. Here, I'm actually making sure. Yeah, 330 snaps last year. Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, Booth is my number 2 corner solely based off the athleticism. But saying now he's number 2 sounds ballsy as hell. He is literally 1 spot above Kyrie Elam and then 3 spots above Gardner.
Yeah, so the top 4 corners in this class are fairly close, and for me at least, I think McDuffie's not too far behind either.
Yeah, for me, I'm a little bit different on that, but still,
it's a nice way to put it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just pick your poison with these dudes. Whatever you want. These, the number 1 guy, Derek Stingley, is going to be the number 1. Yeah, After the 3, it's like do whichever you please. You want a guy who can stuff? Go Ahmad Gardner. That guy has amazing press skills. But you want some speed? Go Booth. In between, Elam. Do whatever the hell you want. But at 16, we get the Chargers. And surprisingly, one of the things that the Chargers lack is, after this year, a solid wide receiver core. They have some good depth. They do have some good depth there. And did they get Cornell Powell? Or no, it was
Josh Palmer.
Josh Palmer. Josh Palmer's solid. Don't think he should have been drafted as high as he should have. As he was.
Shut your mouth.
He was a 3rd round pick.
I had him in I think he was 75 on my board.
You crazy.
Dude, I was talking about him before the Senior Bowl, and then he broke out.
He's good. He's good. I was thinking maybe he would be an early day 3. I thought he was a little bit overdrafted. However, Mike Williams, there's a reason why they drafted Josh Palmer. And that's because they probably felt like Mike Williams might not be there. And I feel like the slot might be a little bit neglected. And there's a guy who can kind of solve tight end, slot, and big wide receiver. It's Treylon Burks. He's a big-ass dude out of Arkansas. What is he, 6'3", 240? Something crazy.
Not 240. I think he's 230.
Okay. Oh, crazy difference. He's a big-ass man.
240, then he'd be pushing the tight end at that point. Be like, I think I'd consider it now.
Yeah, Chase Claypool was 250.
I thought Chase Claypool was going to convert to tight end. He had me fooled.
Yeah. So, Treylon Burks is going to add a really good dimension to this offense. Again, you're going to be able to give Justin Herbert a bigger target to look at for the future, especially if you don't want to bring back Mike Williams. So, with Josh Palmer being a starter in your eyes, you'll have Keenan Allen, Palmer, Burks. That's going to be a solid starting 3, and you have some really good depth with Guyton as well as some other guys there.
Johnson, man, I'm a big fan of Johnson.
Yeah.
And honestly with that, it just Oh, you could really shuffle these guys up. They're not like specific to just one position. Oh, this guy's boundary, this guy's slot. Like you could do a lot of different things with these guys. So
Yeah, these guys have all played in multiple positions as well. That's kind of the blessing of the fact that college has a huge ass roster, is that dudes fit wherever they can before they actually prove who they are. But at number 17, the Patriots, we already know that they desperately need wide receiver, and they have depth literally everywhere else in God knows what. I'm going Garrett Wilson. I think that he is the best wide receiver in the class. Just didn't think that the Chargers really were the perfect fit for him. Excellent after the catch. I know Broshmo and we probably agree that he's the number one wide receiver in the class, right?
Wilson, yeah. Well, I eventually settled on it. Like Burks was close.
Yeah.
And actually, technically Olave too, but
it's just drops. Drops are the only thing that I have an issue with.
Yeah, I don't think he's got like good after the catch ability either.
Yeah, I mean,
unless it's like him running free after contact, I think is probably the better way to put it.
Okay, yeah, running free. But at number 18, the Steelers stay on the board, and they actually did a pretty good job today, offensive line wise. However, I do believe Trey Turner's on a 1-year deal, right? And the fact is, the offensive line still isn't good, and we have a lot of guys who are developing. And right now, again, a quarterback. What, you want me to take Carson Strong, which I don't like in the first place? But the idea is, do you want to take the 5th best quarterback at 18? I can't see the NFL doing that. And that's coming after this past year's draft where we had 5 quarterbacks go by 15. But that's because there was nothing after. We still have some guys like Phil Dracovic, which we'll talk about later, that could. Hey, he literally looks like Big Ben 2.0. I'm just saying. But still, I think that the best case scenario is to build the offensive line, something the Steelers had forever, and now they have probably arguably the worst offensive line. Kenyon Green has that tackle flexibility as well if you want to move him there. He will be playing tackle this year, and he has an amazing guard pedigree, and he's going to be playing next to his guy Dan Moore. I think it's a perfect fit, and again, they're wanting to run the ball more. You see how Isaiah Spiller runs the ball? Just wait to see how Najee Harris runs the ball.
I think best case scenario for the Steelers if Green is not playing next to Dan Moore. I'm not a big Dan Moore guy.
I mean, Dan Moore has some potential, but still, it also provides the opportunity for him to take over Dan Moore. You up?
So the Philadelphia Eagles. This one was kind of tough for a variety of different ways. I'm not gonna lie. I contemplated receiver when I was first doing this. I was like, oh. But I ended up going with safety because Anthony Harris, he is on a 1-year deal. Jordan Battle, honestly, you could play him in the slot. You could play him weak side linebacker. Like, you could do a lot of fun things with him. He's very strong against the run. In terms of strength, I think his play strength is great. So I went with Jordan Battle here. And then, dude, 20, Saints. Tell me Chris Olave is not like everyone's pick for the Saints at this point. Like, it's just so sexy. It just makes sense. They missed the mark on Traquan Smith. He's just not the deep burner they thought he was. Olave is. You know you're getting that with Olave. I'm actually a pretty big. I mean, it's hard not to be a big fan if you consider these guys first round talents. You know.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's just so funny how literally 3 picks ago we were like, dude, Chris Olave? No.
I know, that's the weird thing, you know. That's how you have to separate these guys, or else you're gonna have no idea how to rank them, you know.
Exactly.
Cowboys fans, uproar. I'm going Kingsley Enagbare. He's 12th on my board. Thank you. But he's 12th on my board. He might be a bit more of a, how would you say, developmental guy. Kind of a bull in a china shop. Does need a little refinement to his game. But I think they got the time there with it. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what DeMarcus Lawrence's contract looks like at this point. But, I mean, dude, safe to say they have no one proven across from him. So you might as well take shots here. Dude, and I mean, he's big enough to play interior on, like, passing down. So, like, you could still do a lot of cool things with him. It's just, like, dude, he was so high on my, like, 12th. It's hard for me to justify passing up on him when there's really nowhere else I'd kind of want to pick.
That's fair. I mean, I totally agree with the edge position. Obviously, I have a different edge ranking than you. And that's what makes this back and forth fun, is that you get a combination of both where we can't just have one bias taking over the entire draft. So, I mean, it makes some fun stuff like having Kingsley fall to probably 21 for you versus where he'd probably fall out of the first for me. However, the Titans, I love you guys. However, pass rush has obviously been a huge point of focus in this offseason. You paid a ton of money for a guy, as a Steelers fan, did not deserve it. And that's something that might not be enjoyed by your guys' ears. However,
No, they know it. They know it.
Yeah, y'all know. Y'all know paying like $82.5 million for a guy who pretty much produced 1 year and had injury issues is not really the brightest move. Harold Landry is also coming up on a contract, and I love me some Harold Landry. But cap only is so thin. You guys have already decimated the majority of your defense. There is a bona fide stud. You are not going to be subtracting from Harold Landry's prowess when you go after this player. It's nothing you see on here at all. He's right here. Adam Anderson. Technically, if you don't want to call Leal an edge player, my number 2 edge in the class. He is Azeez Ojulari with aggression, better burst, better vision. He is everything Azeez wasn't.
You don't need to bash on I think Azeez was one of my favorite prospects last year.
Dude, I love Azeez.
It don't sound like it. It don't sound like it.
I'm telling you, that's how much I love Adam Anderson.
Yeah, Adam Anderson's good.
Dude, Adam Anderson is so good that I got to tell you guys might not like the pick because Harold Landry is a core piece of your defense. Man.
And I was thinking, honestly, with Landry, you could feasibly move him inside, linebacker.
Yeah.
They've dropped him back in coverage enough, I mean, if you bring back Jayon Brown, it's not like he could be worse than Evans. Evans is trash. Yeah. I don't like saying that. That actually makes me feel bad. You're not trash, dude. You're not trash. You're in the NFL. What am I saying? Gosh, okay. that hurt my feelings when I said that out loud.
Yeah, I was like, dang.
I know. I'm not trying to burn bridges like that. I am so sorry. Just gotta bleep this out.
Yeah, we're gonna restart the video right now. No. At 23, I thought about taking Christian. Yeah, I know. I thought about taking Christian Harris here, and that would be an excellent choice.
Yes.
But I really do think that we need to address a cornerback position in the meantime. The Jets do kind of lack that ability. I believe you guys have Bless One Austin, Bryce Hall, who I'm a big fan of. I never thought you should ever. Yeah, big fan of him. I think you just need a bona fide number 1. And that's no disrespect to the guys there. I think Trent McDuffie is a solid zone corner. He's going to be running that cover 3, cover 4 solid scheme. And he knows how to make guys who I don't think he has excellent athleticism. He knows how to make them feasible and good. So I think he can maximize Trent McDuffie.
Corner depth is never the wrong answer.
That is also very true. Oh, I'm still on the board.
You're on the board for quite a bit.
I know. We'll clarify this based on the fact that there was a big injury to Carson Wentz.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. We should probably clarify the fact that we are going to be keeping it as if the 2nd round pick stands and not it becoming a conditional first because of the fact that we planned out actually it on playoffpredictors.com. We looked at the schedule and the first 9 games are pretty much going to be 8. It's going to be 1-8 or maybe 2-7. It was the first 8.
1-7.
2-6, 1-7. So that 9th game, he's going to be able to come back Thursday night against the Jets. I think it was the
Jets.
I think it was the Jets.
I think it was the Jets, yeah.
Yeah,
Jets or
Thursday
Jags,
night.
one of the two.
It might have been Jack. Whatever. An easier opponent at home on a Thursday night. He's going to be able to come back and have a semi-easy stretch before the Bills, a couple weeks to relax and then be able to get into his own. That's going to take away from his 70% snap share, and they're probably not going to be able to make the playoffs. So that is why we have number 24 as the Colts pick. And we all know that, Quentin Nelson's already going to be gone for a while, so that's going to suck. But he's going to be there at this point in the draft. So God bless. But still, that's another reason why they'd be losing out all those games.
Yep.
But
same injury, too.
Yeah, same exact injury. That's kind of weird. But there's no doubt about it that losing Anthony Costanzo hurts. And Fisher is coming off, a back surgery. So he's not even going to be back for a while either.
Sam Tevi. I think Fisher's back in October, potentially.
Yeah. So the need for a left tackle is paramount right now. However, there's a lot of these tackles that I honestly am not that big of a fan of, especially stepping in day 1. I thought about, hey, let's look at Thayer Mumford right here. Perfect plug-and-play player. Absolutely. I think this team is going to be aiming for more of the long run, though. I think Sean Rhyan is an absolute monster. He may weigh 318 pounds, but he looks like he weighs 380. He is an absolute monolith, and he's a beast. Worst case scenario, you kick him into guard, and I say this very lightly, maybe not so. He could be a Hall of Fame guard. I think he is that powerful and that good at being able to hold his own. That he turned Drake Jackson into like a 5th grade edge rusher. I mean, it was embarrassing.
Oh, so Drake Jackson's a Jekyll and Hyde situation.
Yes. But I think Sean Rhyan adds that versatility that can also help with injuries and keep the offensive line awesome and improving. So, voila. Oh, yeah. I'm still on the board, too. Love that.
Yeah, I'll see you at pick 28.
Yeah, I know. At number 25, we got the Dolphins. And we all know that, yeah, exactly. The defense is still in need of some minor improvements. Ogba, probably not going to be there. I think it's his last year of his contract. And we can add some new spark to this team. Regardless of actually whether the contract's up or not, we need some spark. You got Nick Bonito here, who is an absolute lightning bolt. He is electric. He is fun. He's pretty much everything that you want in a project. There's an unbelievable ceiling to him. I'm going to be selecting Nick Bonito as an edge rusher for this team. He and Jalen Phillips are going to be a nasty edge duo. I think it's going to be – are you looking it up right now?
I'm looking at Andrew Van Ginkel's contract.
Yeah, I think Nick Bonito would be –
yeah, because I think it'd be very – they have a very similar skill set. And Ginkel's is up at 2022, so his rookie deal.
Yeah, but I still think that edge help is needed. Even with all that being said.
Oh, yeah. No. I mean, if you got a chance to upgrade a position, you upgrade a position. And I think he would be an upgrade.
And plus, you have Flores being able to control what happens with Nick Bonito. I think that you can reach the ceiling a lot better with Flores than with most. So, continuing my streak and my monologue here, we got number 26. We got the Browns. And this is pretty easy to me. Christian Harris, another guy who could have went right here. I even thought about him damn here at 24. Not going to happen, though. Christian Harris is an absolute beast.
Piss off the Darius Leonard fans, why don't you?
Dude, Darius Leonard he's a beast. There's no doubt about it. I was just talking about Franklin. He could have been potentially a guy right there. But Christian Harris is an absolute monster, and I think that he'd be an excellent addition to this team. JOK, I think he's going to also need to find his own, but he's definitely not going to be in the same position.
Yeah, he's not going to be in the middle of the defense like Harris.
He's not going to be a Mike. He'd be a Will at best due to his size. But at number 27, we get the Bills still rolling. And with the Bills, this is going to be a fun one. The Bills, I think the best position to go is corner. They're pretty damn stacked everywhere. And I know there's some personality concerns, and he even flipped schools. But Darian Kendrick is an absolute beast, guys. He is. I continue mocking him to the Bills when he should have came out last year in the first round. I think the same happens because we saw the Georgia corners get drafted very highly. And I think Darian Kendrick has the potential to be better than both of them. So,
dude, I completely agree, man. He played Jamar Chase in the national championship back in, I guess that would be 2019?
Yeah.
Yeah, 2019, 2020, whatever. 2019 season. But played him better than A.J. Terrell. I mean, Jamar Chase still got his. Don't get me wrong. But by comparison to another first-round corner, I thought Kendrick actually looked like the better corner. Who's been playing corner less? Like, he was just a receiver like a couple of years prior to that.
Yeah, exactly. So, now, on to you, my good sir.
The Lions, their receiving core, it consists of Amon-Ra St. Brown and a bunch of old men that think they can run down the field very fast. So, I'm actually not going to get a man that I think can run down the field very fast. Going with Drake London. He's my number 4 currently at receiver. I really like him as this possession guy that's just wonderful after the catch. And if I want to really get a separator, obviously you can grab that in the offseason. Look at the Patriots, Nelson Aguilar. Dude, even what the Lions did with Tyrell Williams. There we go, and Breland. So.
Rashad.
Yeah, but they need to start adding to this corner group right now. So
yeah, exactly. At this spot, gotta love it because the player that I would want in here is not in the database because you gotta love PFN. So this is gonna be a rangy safety that many of you guys may not have heard of. He is a safety from Arkansas. His name is Jalen Catalan?
Jalen Catalan.
It is Jalen, right?
Yeah.
So for the fun of it, we're just going to be doing Quentin Lake here. He's definitely not going to be drafted in this. So for
spoiler alert.
I think everybody knew. I don't think there's much of a spoiler to anybody here. But yeah, it's going to be Jalen Catalan. He is rangy. He is fun. He is electric. He runs like a missile towards the ball and does have some tackling issues. However, he's very willing to take on any blocker. And that's awesome. I love his drive.
Dude, yeah. If you're my deep safety, I don't care how you tackle.
Yeah.
If you're tackling, then holy crap. How did the running back get to like the third level? Like, other people didn't do their job correctly.
Yeah, like it shouldn't be up to him. Either you're assisting or else the defense fucked up.
Exactly.
So, there you go.
The Green Bay Packers. This is the last dance, right? So as of now, this team's Jordan Love. I think they're going to be without Devontae. I think they're going to be probably without Zadarius Smith as well, potentially. But I didn't go with either of those positions. I thought maybe grabbing the NC State guard, Mr. Last name I'm gonna butcher. If you want to go ahead and select him, yeah. Well, he could. You would think he could. You could maybe put him on the right side. I think he works best at guard, maybe right guard. And I like the idea of, was it Patrick Lucas or Lucas Patrick? I know it's those two names. I don't know what order.
I was like, which order is that?
Yeah, but he filled in at right tackle, and I thought he did an okay job. I think he's better than Billy Turner.
Okay.
So, yeah, he's got good upside. Like Bruce Feldman, he was on Bruce Feldman's freak list in terms of he thinks he's like, this guy's the Mekhi Becton of the interior position this year. So, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I like this pick a lot. He too is down in the database. Regardless, I'm going with former Clemson linebacker Mike Jones. He's now at LSU. For no intents and purposes, this guy, he's not your ideal tackler, but he is a phenomenal coverage linebacker. He was basically playing the overhang role there at Clemson. So I like the idea of him potentially, like, you could throw him in the slot, you could throw him maybe at box occasionally, you could move him around. You got Levante David still there, but I think once they move on from David, because I know he's on a 3-year deal, maybe he gets through 2 years of that. Regardless, Devin White, Mike Jones, that is a beautiful pairing going toward the future. And honestly, it's the Buccaneers. Rich get richer. They're deep everywhere. So,
yeah, no, it's a damn good one. Again, I put Damone Clark because of LSU. That's where.
Oh, okay. I got him as a 5th rounder.
Heyo. So, this pick for the Chiefs is pretty obvious where we need to go. That's going to be towards edge rush. So, obviously, Frank Clark isn't everything that first round pick was supposed to be, and that's a bit unfortunate. But Myjai Sanders here has a ton of upside. I think that he's been a little bit underwhelming as a guy who watches him all the time because my school is in the AAC. But, he has a lot of potential there. He's 262, looks a bit bigger. I'm honestly thinking he plays at 270. Regardless, I think he has a solid first step for his size, has a full toolkit, and there's a lot of room to grow there. And this is a perfect team where, honestly, he's going to be an instant upgrade anyways. So go with Myjai Sanders.
I think for him, it's the length. That's why he looks so big.
That's true.
Dude's stupid lanky.
Yeah. So, it's just proportions right there. But at number 33, I'm continuing the trend with going with some offensive linemen here for the Texans. Now, I know Titus Howard out of Alabama State, as I was corrected earlier.
You'll never know.
You'll never know. But out of Alabama State, he hasn't been the first round guy. I think he was picked 25 or something crazy like that. People are like,
because a lot of people saw him as like day 2 at some point, but not first.
Yeah, never the first. There's a reason for that. They pulled the Raiders on that one. He's not living up to that hype. Marcus Cannon is not going to last forever. Got him right.
I'd like to think Alex Leatherwood was at least a better prospect than Howard, but all right.
Yeah, well, that's a topic for another day, but I'll probably agree with you on
Damon Arnett. We were talking about Arnett.
Yes, exactly. But the idea, the premise that you reach for a player that has no desire or no need to be a guy. Regardless, there still needs to be a tackle in place. Cannon's going to be there possibly for a year, possibly for another one. So at this time, he could be there for a little bit longer. Charles Cross is somebody where this is where Broshmo and I disagree. I think he has a lot of upside. He has major anchor issues, and it's because of his 290-pound frame. And he's a redshirt sophomore, so he has a lot of room to grow. If Marcus Cannon is signed for a year longer, it will be an excellent development spot for him to be able to grow and to learn and to become into his own body. So hopefully he gets to put on some pounds. Good lateral movement, and there's a lot of upside. Again, the problem with a lot of these tackles is they're not – I mean, you don't want a plug-and-play player for a team that is developing. So get a guy who has that actual potential.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing. Not ready now. They feel, honestly, if they were to wait another year, they'd be easy first-round picks. So,
yeah.
Detroit, definitely. I'm adding to this receiver room, and I'm going Romeo Doubs, the vertical threat out of Nevada. He's actually pretty darn good. While he's not like an elite separator, the guy just runs a vertical route tree extremely well. So, this is, I have completed my wide receiver room. All with my first 3 picks.
That's nice.
And I got a quarterback of the future. Oh, boy.
That's true. So the Lions have probably revamped their offense pretty heavily here. But a team that needs to have one more piece to actually revamp its offense is the Jacksonville Jaguars. They have their quarterback. They have their full running back situation, which is a little bit unfortunate because James Robinson is not going to be able to be the lead back anymore. But just kind of shows you the rich to get richer there. But their wide receiver core, pretty damn solid. Tight end core, garbage. Hot garbage. Well, Jalen Weidemeyer, 6'5", really talented. And I think that he's going to be a perfect fit. If Tim Tebow is going to be able to make the roster as a tight end, you desperately need a tight end. So get Jalen Weidemeyer, which I was surprised they didn't get Pat Freiermuth last year.
Yeah, honestly, that was like an easy mock for me every second round. It was like almost plug, just Freiermuth.
Yep, every time. I'm still on the board here. I think the Jets, we already addressed the edge spot. We already addressed a corner spot. There's one more piece of the defense that we brought in a piece for 1 year this year, and that was Jared Davis. And there's one more linebacker that, well, as Broshmo likes to say, is very similar to a Fred Warner. It's Popo. And I think he's actually really talented. I like him personally. And, he's going to be a nice addition to the squad. With CJ Mosley there, really good mentor, going to play in that role perfectly for the future.
Yeah, I'm just going to say I think he could play a Fred Warner role. At no point am I making a comp there. Don't put those words in my mouth.
He is going to be the Fred Warner of this. He's going to play that same role. So for all the people in the comment section, there you go.
You know what's this is the next Ray Lewis.
Oh no!
You know what? Just screw it. Let's go all the way. Pedal to the metal.
Oh my god. At number 37, another team that desperately needs a linebacker, the Bengals. And there's one linebacker that really stands out among the rest as a true three-down linebacker, Devin Lloyd, Utah. Really talented linebacker. I think he's going to have a pretty big future in this NFL. And this is a team that desperately needs it. We focused on the offense. Now it's time to focus on the defense.
Oh, yeah. And then I don't know what that dialect I was pushing out there. So I grabbed Malik Willis. I grabbed Jordan Battle. That's who. So this one was kind of tough. It would be nice to grab another corner. I wasn't wild about the corner position at this point, even though I do love technically Martin Emerson's still on the board here, but I decided not to go there. I just went with best available. I have Drake Jackson as a first rounder. I think he's got a lot of high-end play. Or at least his high-end play, it's beautiful. It's beautiful, but it's few and far between. If he's more consistent this season at USC, then watch out.
I'll say this. The draft philosophy of the Eagles showed that they wanted to get a good edge rusher.
Dude, that's their thing. They want to get pressure with their front four. They're penetrators. They like to be busting in them B gaps, if you know what I mean.
Yep. Absolutely. Oh god.
All right. They're lucky they ain't a D gap. I don't even know what that. I don't even know what that is. New York Giants, right? I ended up going quarterback here. JT Daniels. I do have Carson Strong higher, but JT Daniels has, I think, the best opportunity to improve his stock simply by virtue of playing in the SEC. They're both very similar in terms of they got cannons. They like to push the ball deep. So, I mean, if honestly, if we're going to pick a guy that has the best opportunity to elevate his stock, it's really Daniels. So I went with Daniels there. Sorry, DJ. Atlanta Falcons, I kept it in the Georgia family. I grabbed George Pickens. I don't think he's the next Julio, but he's a darn fine X. He's a good contested catch target. I think the combine, athletically, he could really blow it up. And I mean, you kind of got guys there in Kyle Pitts who could play in the slot, could play in line, play on the outside. Calvin Ridley could jump into the slot too. You got a lot of guys that could do a lot of different things. Go get your contested catch guy, your big, competitive jump ball guy there in Pickens. So you're welcome, Matt Ryan. You're welcome.
I mean, I love that too, because he's going to go into a situation where he doesn't actually need to be a number one at X.
Exactly. It's beautiful.
Yeah. He also has time to get into the NFL and relax a little bit, because there's two guys who are desperately going to be focused on above him. So cheers to them. Number 41, the Jets. This is a team that might be a little bit more desperate for someone who can plug and play right away to make sure that their semi-fragile quarterback, not saying that Zach Wilson is fragile. However, he does have a smaller frame, and he has already had a shoulder surgery, shoulder repair. So it's probably best to make sure that he doesn't continue having to have those issues. And that might be because, you have a pretty terrible right tackle right now. No disrespect to George Fant, but he doesn't have any business belonging as a right tackle to a potentially injury-prone quarterback. There, Munford, we were talking about plug and play earlier. This is something that's desperate. They don't have a guy like Marcus Cannon that the Texans have. You were about to say something?
Very true, very true. Well, no, I think we both shared the same opinion of Munford. The guy literally took such a huge leap in development last season that, and being an older prospect, because what we said he's going to be like 23, 24 by the time his rookie season starts. 24. Yeah. So it's like, honestly, with these tackle prospects, especially the young ones, like you don't really know what type of players they are till like 2 or 3 seasons in. I think with Mumford, you're already getting that. Literally, you said it, plug and play. So I think he's a beautiful day 2 pick.
Yeah, I agree.
So I'm here with the Bears. I'm going with defense. I'm going with interior. They were trying to trade away Keem Hicks. They lost what was his name? He's with the Jaguars now.
Roy Robertson Harris.
Bam, there you go. So I'm grabbing Jermaine Lowell, however you want to say it, out of Arizona State. Yeah, he's a guy that survived a couple of scheme changes there at Arizona State, but he's a dude that's played the nose. He's played between the 5 and the 3 tech, so he's got a lot of versatility. If you don't consider DeMarvin Leal the top interior guy, because he's probably on your edge too, this would be it for me personally. I really like him a ton. This man gets mean leverage.
Yep.
And he's got a little shimmy, a little twitch, a little sparkle in his eye.
Yeah, I'll just say this. I haven't studied Jermaine enough to be able to say definitively whether I'd agree with that position or not. But
Arizona State's very interesting.
Hey, go for it. Honestly, that is what brings people to our channel, is the fact that we actually have original opinions. So, at number 43, the Broncos. We did lose our starting right tackle. And who is there for a 1-year contract?
Massey, Bobby Massey.
Bobby Massey, right, another tackle the Bears lost. So,
yeah,
the Bears lost everything.
Yeah. Bye, Leno. Bye, Massey. Ta-ta. Yeah, good luck, Jenkins.
Oh,
didn't even get Morgan Moses.
I know. It's so sad. However, the right tackle spot will most likely be vacant. And there probably will be a need for another plug-and-play guy. And there is one. And he already plays right tackle, which is wonderful. Abraham Lucas. He's pretty damn talented. He is extremely athletic. So if you want to have Matt Corral roll out, he is honestly perfect for that. I think that he's going to be able to step in day 1 and be able to play at a high enough level. I think he's going to be Ty Nsekhe level, where he's like a Band-Aid for the time being. So that's perfect for a second-round pick for you to just get immediate impact.
That's not a bad comp, actually.
I know. I did the same thing with Stone Forsythe, and it's just brilliant. Like, if you ever want to talk about a Band-Aid swing tackle, it's Ty Nsekhe. Every time. Every time. Love that. I love that comp. But for the Raiders, what can we do with you guys? Ooh, so I'm going to allow you to present your favorite guy that I still haven't watched.
Martin Emerson. He might not have the long speed, but that boy got length. He was shut down in the SEC. Just ask everyone's favorite Alabama receiver all of a sudden, John Mechie. John Mechie couldn't get it off the line. He knocked off Mac Jones and his rhythm because Mac Jones is simply that, a rhythm passer. My boy Emerson, 12 pass breakups. And guess what? He is good in run defense. The Raiders, this isn't a pick they'd make. This is good. This makes no sense.
Come on, man.
Yeah, what a hype man, dude. I am the hype man. All that off the dome.
Oh my God. You're a hype man apart from for the Raiders.
Yeah, so. I know. I got to present the Cardinals now, right?
Yeah, just move on. Just move
on. So with this, there's been Chandler Jones trade rumors afoot. So I thought, you know what? I got a first round grade on Zach Harrison. You think I'm a bit of a chubby chaser at this point? You think he's too fat? I don't know what you're saying, man. I'm confused. This guy had like a 20-some% win rate. I'm cool with that if they truly are. I know it's kind of awesome, but so did Tyreek Smith. So, but Chandler Jones, if he really is looking for a trade, worst case scenario, you're adding pass rush.
Did you say Taylor Jones?
Did I say Taylor? Chandler. I said Chandler.
Oh,
I don't pronounce words well. Have you heard me try to pronounce names before?
DeMarvin Leal.
I Leal. Is it Leal? Because it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't roll off my tongue.
I'll look it up after this, and then we'll make sure. You might be correct, but it just looks pretty similar, like Leal.
You know, I'm more of a first name type of guy, like DeMarvin. It's DeMarvin.
All right. How about this? Just say DJU's actual last name. I want to hear it.
All right. So Washington, they're going quarterback. What a segue, dude. What a segue.
What a segue.
I'm going with Carson Strong at this point. I feel a bit better. This is another guy that loves to throw the ball deep. I do worry about his pocket presence because he's kind of got the Carson Wentz presence about him, where he feels pressure when pressure is not there. And you kind of worry about that. It kind of like shot Jacob Eason in the foot. He dropped all the way to the 4th round after being, for the most part, some people thought he was a late first to like somewhere in day 2. Bam, 4th round. So I'm going to take Strong here. I'm going to assume he gets better at that because he plays Nevada. It's not like, they're in the Mountain West. It's not like talent out there is scary. So, yeah, and plus, perfect. Like, dude, you got De'Ami Brown. You got Terry McLaurin. 2 beautiful vertical guys. So, sign me up.
Yeah. I dig it.
Yeah, I'm going to keep this train rolling as long as we don't got to talk about DeMarvin. Or a DJU, either or. The Vikings, I got them going power rusher. We're going with George Karlaftis. We'll see how I said that last name.
I can't correct you on that one. I say Karlaftis. It could be Karlaftis. God only knows.
Dude's a power rusher. He can come in and actually, I think he could play the 3-tech if they want him to, because they kind of got Michael Pierce and Dalvin Tomlinson, 2 guys that have been known to be more 0-tech nose tackle guys. Mm-hmm. Regardless, if you play him on the edge, that's great. He's kind of the Everson Griffin to Hunter. So I don't have a lot of faith in guys like DJ Wonum. I think he's a fine rotation guy, but I absolutely have no faith in Patrick Jones. I was not a prospect I liked last year.
Yeah. For number 48, I thought, well, to be honest, Brian Bulaga is on a 3-year contract, $30 million, #steal.
Year 2.
Yeah, he's already in year 2, which means he'll only have 1 year left. Also, did we already address the guard position for the Chargers?
No. I mean, they got solid vets there. That's the thing.
They do. They do. They have some solid talent there. But there's still, man, you just go best player available. Zion Nelson is somebody who does need some development. I have him as pretty much just a worse version of Cross, but it's definitely up for debate depending on who's actually like watching the tape. But I mean, again, there's nothing.
What do you mean by that?
I'm meaning by you.
Dude, I have no bias.
Listen. Yeah, exactly. Go to you. But I mean, he doesn't end up messing up against Vanderbilt, and neither does Charles Cross. But there is certainly a lot of potential for Zion Nelson to be able to take over where Bulaga is. And Bulaga doesn't stay healthy as it is. And given the fact that he's more of a project, it gives him some time to develop under some really good leadership. Dude, I think Zion Nelson's going to be an excellent addition to this offensive line.
He's stupid athletic. He's made for a outside zone blocking scheme. And I don't know where these Phantom Vandy games that I keep watching are. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. At number 49, I'm stepping on some toes here, but we haven't drafted our damn running back yet. And there is a guy who is always in the Heisman contention. One, Sony Michel is going to be traded. Two, Damian Harris is coming up eventually. He'll have 1 year left until he's going to need a new contract. And we already know running backs usually don't get new contracts. Ramondre Stevenson, really solid back, but he's not going to be a true number one back. I think he's a solid pairing power back with some good contact balance. Bryce Hall is an absolute stud, and he honestly feels a little bit like a Patriot. So there you go. That's how I'm going to be able to justify taking a running back there. And at number 50, I was so on board with getting Kedon Slovis here. So on board. And it's a little bit annoying because I'm not going to be going that way. One, it doesn't feel like he doesn't feel like a quarterback the Steelers would be after. When you think about it, you look at the Stanford quarterback out of last year. What's his name again?
Davis Mills.
Davis Mills. That felt like a Steelers quarterback. Bigger dude. Kedon doesn't give off a Steelers vibe. I would look at Phil Dracovic, he has the physical stature of Big Ben, has a cannon of an arm when he actually has his feet planted, similar to Big Ben, has a little bit of reckless abandon like Big Ben. You look at the quarterbacks right now, this is kind of like a cheap comparison. They all have similar body comps to Phil Dracovic. And honestly, he has moments of awesomeness. And again, we don't even know if Dwayne Haskins might actually prove to be something. Tonight showed that he's not complete buns. He actually had some solid play. So I think that the best case scenario maybe would be to take Kedon Slovis, but you have to sometimes factor in the fact that the Steelers really aren't built for a guy like Kedon. They never were, and they might not be anymore. So again, I think that the best option would be take a later round guy like Phil Dracovic, continue trying to build up the team, because again, you stick a guy like Kedon Slovis in, he's got Elijah Vera Tucker, Austin Jackson, along with a plethora of other solid offensive linemen. You got to stick them onto a team that's not ready yet. And honestly, I think that Phil Dracovic, he's had freaking running backs. That's all he's had. So I think that he'll fare a little bit better on the Steelers than anything else. But the Steelers will be losing one of their star wide receivers. Their number one wide receiver. So I think that in order to get a number 3 wide receiver, you swing for the fences. Justin Ross could be a top 15 pick if healthy and if able to put on some pounds on his frame. We've already seen what they can do with a guy like Chase Claypool. Imagine having potentially 2 Chase Claypools. Of course, a lot smaller. What?
Man, you really I have to defend why I'm not going Slovis here. Boy, you talked Dracovic up big. And you know what? I'm fine with that, because I think, honestly, he could come back to not declare, but he could come back for his senior year and come out in 2023 and actually be a legitimate early day 2 or even fringe first round prospect, considering that class.
I've seen him in the top 15. I don't think I'm being a little bit crazy by saying I would go after Dracovic later on. So
yeah, honestly, I thought you were about to pick him there.
Yeah.
You had me, I was sold. I was like, yeah, Big Ben's a good comp for him. You're right.
It is. It's a big dude who he has a cannon arm, needs a bit of mental development, but he has some flashy plays, and there's a lot of room to grow, and he feels like a Steeler. And that's what we've seen. The past draft, I was just talking with you earlier, it feels like the Steelers are drafting Steelers players more often. Talk about the punter, Percy Harvin, best punter in the NFL now.
Gosh,
love it.
After his first punt.
After his first punt, oh my goodness. And then
you talk about 2-inch line.
Yeah, oh god. You talk about Najee Harris, Pat Freiermuth, all those guys, Steelers players. So I think the trend could continue. I think they're starting to focus on guys who actually mean something to them. But we're now into the Dolphins. Enough of my spiel. This is another team that needs a running back. And Isaiah Spiller he's pretty much a much better version of Malcolm Brown. Could be a solid pairing piece, and it's in the second round. We're not going to be going after the offensive line. The wide receiver core is fine enough. We're not going after a quarterback in the second round, God forbid.
Dude, 2 is great.
Yeah. And then the defense seems solid enough right now. Isaiah Spiller is an excellent best player available option who's going to be able to fill a huge need that I wish was filled by the UNC running back Javonte Williams. It wasn't.
It wasn't, man. He was traded up for.
Yeah.
Broncos spent a lot for a running back.
Yep.
When they have I get Gordon. He's got 1 year left, but woof.
I know.
I went Keaton Slovis here with the Saints. I think this is a great pairing with him and Sean Payton. I think you could draw some similarities between him and Breeze, at least late year Breeze. While I don't think Slovis is a guy that's going to gun it downfield all the time, he's kind of got a bit of a noodle for an arm. His arm's just, that's just not it. But the dude's stupid accurate. He's literally, this past season, he was fourth quarter Kirk Cousins. And he will be talked about as a first rounder if, the other 3 quarters look more like the fourth this past season, which he could do. He was great in 2019. So
yeah,
I got him going here. Bubba Bolden going to the Cowboys. I think safety, it is a big need. Secondary, their secondary is kind of a doormat.
Yeah.
Bubba Bolden, ideal pro physical tools. He just needs to play well, so to speak.
Yeah, let's just leave it there.
Yeah. Then I got the Falcons. They go Brenton Cox. They don't have a true edge one. If you think Dante Fowler is a true edge one, that's why your team is bad. So we're going with Brenton Cox. He did pretty darn well last year in the SEC, considering I don't think he's a guy with a great bend. He just wins. That was the thing. Yeah. He just won last year.
He's really aggressive. I appreciate his drive. He just isn't very athletically gifted. Yeah. And that can obviously change.
I mean, and to be fair, that's saying a lot for this class. Like, this is a very good class at edge. Absolutely. This is literally, the edge class is the equivalent of the wide receiver class the last 2 years. To be fair, I think so. I think there's great edge talent in here.
Okay. I'm not going to go there with you, but I can tell there's a lot of very solid edge.
You're saying Thibodeaux ain't the Justin Jefferson of this class?
No, because he's going to be drafted first, unlike Justin Jefferson. And everybody knows.
Okay, I'm talking about in terms of production. Screw where they were drafted.
Dude, I think Adam Anderson could be the Justin Jefferson who's not selected first.
I could see him being more of the Jerry Jeudy and, suffering from how bad everything is around him, like Drew Lock.
That's fair. Who do we draft him to?
You went to Titans. That's a great situation.
So he'll be fine.
Not in this class, or at least not in this scenario. So I went with Cox, and then I went with Perion Winfrey for the Seahawks. I think this was just simple. They got LJ Collier kind of playing the Jaron Reed role now that he's with KC. By the way, low key, really good pickup by Kansas City. I totally forget about that time and time again. But yeah, Collier, I don't know if it'll work out. Maybe it does. Hopefully it does. I don't know. Winfrey, he's twitchy. He's a penetrator. They need some sort of pass rush that's not Jamal Adams, your safety on that team.
It's true.
And then I got the Eagles. We're going Zion Johnson. A little early for me. But you know what? Screw it. I'm grabbing some long-term success necessarily at offensive line. Just considering they might, honestly, Lane Johnson might be a contract they dump in the next couple of years. Brandon Brooks he's up there in years. I think we kind of agreed that Landon Dickerson's going to be the replacement for Jason Kelsey in the future. And Zion Johnson, a guy that he's actually started looking very good at left tackle there at BC. Still think he might be probably a guard, but man, he's got some high-end play to him.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. Worst case scenario, he has some damn solid depth for when injuries come in, which is very popular with the Eagles offensive line. So his experience at tackle could definitely help.
Oh, yeah.
So, just saying.
All right, so I just want to verify. Is this Roger McCreary?
I believe this is Roger McCreary.
Okay, all right. I was like, why do I have Outblades?
Yeah.
As a Hurricanes fan, hey, I appreciate it, but he ain't no day 2 guy.
Yeah, no, this is Roger McCreary.
Yeah. Anyway, he's not nearly the athlete as Noah and Big Nagani. I think he's far more developed though.
Form? Was this Storm?
It was Storm. No, I don't think it was Storm Duck.
Was it Storm?
I don't think it was. I think I ended up going with McCreary just because Storm Duck had the he didn't play a ton last year. He played like 2 or 3 games. Because McCreary, he is extremely experienced. I think
PFN, this is your fault. This is PFN's fault. They could at least just like put in the right names.
Yeah, I know. Like, dude, I told you we were we were gonna be doing this. Hey, we whipped this together an hour ago. We'll remember. It's fine.
3 hours go by.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, like both are solid. Duck's a little bit more. Well, he's got a lot more speed than McCreary, but McCreary, dude, he's battle tested. He's a playmaker. The dude comes down the hill with a head full of steam. That seems to be the phrase everyone uses. It's just because it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yep. He's a really talented corner.
Yeah, no, he's like plug and play. I don't know if he will nearly have the well, I don't think he'll have the ceiling of Noah Ibignogany, but he also won't have like the high bust rate.
Oh yeah. Well, for the Browns, yeah, I know. For the Browns, they don't need anything, right? So maybe JC Tretter.
That team's like almost perfect.
Yeah, I mean, this is ideal pick right here because Jarrett Patterson needs maybe a little bit more time to develop, and he is an excellent depth option until he is ready to succeed JC Tretter, and that frees up cap space, which you're gonna need because Baker.
I think he's a free agent after this season, if not the next. I can't remember.
Even if that's the case, even better because Jarrett Patterson's going to be a perfect need as well because he will be ready to start day one. I just think that, I mean, you can never hurt by developing.
Are they keeping him, like, just off topic, are they keeping him at center this year?
Jarrett? I don't know. I think they should.
Yeah, I think they should too, but, like, man, they lost 4 starters. They might be desperate.
Did they lose 4 starters or 3? I know they lost Banks.
They lost Banks. They lost
Hainsey. They lost Eichenberg,
and Kramer.
And Kramer. They lost Hainsey, Kramer, Eichenberg.
Yeah, 4 starters, man.
I think they should just keep him at center.
Yeah.
Who cares?
They brought in Kane Madden too, but
yeah. Well, while
he might be playing right guard. He might be playing right guard. I heard some crazy stuff that he might kick out to left tackle. I was like, holy crap!
Oh, what the heck?
Yeah, not true.
Okay. All right. Good. But what is important is the Bills. And the Bills, they're also a team that is pretty damn well filled up. I think that running back is an excellent option. Kyron Williams doesn't do it. Jerry Neely doesn't do it. I think that they also could be looking for an excellent complementary back. Kennedy Brooks. Our guy.
I freaking love Kennedy Brooks. Opted out this past season. He's coming off a tear, dude. His production, like, and I was saying this in my video, like, if you take his 2 years combined, like, he'll have similar amount of carries as Najee and Breece Hall. Yeah. And his production would be on par with Najee's, better than Breece Hall's. Just throwing that out there. Just saying.
He's a really good back.
Oh, yeah.
And he also now has more tread because he doesn't have to. He's had a full year off. Just saying.
So, I'm going to go ahead and go with this. I'm going Donovan West with this pick out of Arizona State. He's actually moving back to center this year, which is actually even much of a better pick than I initially thought because they got Brian Allen, who has been not great. He was hurt last year, so he didn't play it at all. So, I think this is good. You could plug West immediately in there at center. Or if maybe like I think David Edwards and Austin Corbett are pretty solid at guard. Well, solid enough. I mean, to be fair, they're on the interior. The bar's kind of low for the Rams. So
yeah, I feel that. So for number 61, I thought this was a perfect fit. I used to do this in the first round. Fit, man. I know. Aiden Hutchinson is a perfect fit. Exactly what the Ravens are needing. Adding another big edge presence there. Love that. Him and Adofe away. Gonna be nasty together. Nasty.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, his skill set's one that will translate successfully to the NFL. It's just not one highly sought out.
Oh, yeah. On to you.
Green Bay Packers. I'm getting a guy that can just help out Kenny Clark, man. Dude gets double teamed so much. Let's get a guy that can penetrate in there for him without making it sound too dirty. I'm going with Haskell Garrett.
All right.
Last year was, I think, the first year he actually played over 300 snaps. I was surprised he actually returned when Togi decided to go.
I agree.
But yeah, no, man, he's probably going to be a day 2 guy in here. He's just a playmaker, dude. He's a penetrator. They could use that.
Really solid.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You're good? Okay. I was like, I got Tampa Bay. I was about to run through it.
Run through it.
Best player available. I went with Tyke Smith. Yeah, we got Sean Murphy Button. You know what? You could always upgrade. Tyke Smith is a wonderful addition at the slot. Probably the best slot corner in this class. Moving to Georgia after just holding it down there for the last 2 seasons at West Virginia. Now he gets to do it in the SEC, and then probably come out and make some big bucks, because we know slot corners don't get paid, unfortunately. So I don't know why I said big bucks, but regardless, hey, Tampa, they could pick whatever the hell they want. That's the luxury of being a very deep team.
I agree. And finally, ending off the second round, we got the Kansas City Chiefs, and they drafted Noah Gray this year. I honestly don't care. I really don't care. They kind of need a bigger wide receiver / tight end. And there are 2 guys who I considered for this role. Isaiah Likely. He is crazy. If you guys have not seen him, please watch him. He is so fun to watch. He should not have even been at Coastal Carolina. I swear, he should have transferred. He really should have. And then there's another guy, Julio Billingsley. And if you did not see the fact that he's only had 28 receptions on 30-something targets, you would think that he might be a first-round receiving threat, legitimately. And that might be something that's really intriguing. So, given what? Do you want to say something?
Oh, no, I was just looking at my cup. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. The dude only has 300-some snaps. We were talking about that. And you're, to be fair, I'm actually less lenient. I'm like, yeah, throw him as tight end 1.
Yeah.
Compared to you. So, it was wild that you picked him.
Yes. So I chose Jaleel because I honestly don't think he's going to be coming out, but if he does, this allows him to have development time underneath Travis Kelce, and as well as using him in that wide receiver role. He's going to be a big ass wide receiver.
Best place for a tight end to be under Kelce.
Oh yeah. So I think that he's going to be an excellent option, much better than what Noah Gray provides, and that is going to be the draft. So I'll let you outro.
Yeah. I don't know how you felt. After we got done, I felt actually really good. I looked at it and I was like, man, this looks
a good draft.
Good.
Yeah.
Which probably means it's not realistic because, we don't have any Raiders picks in there.
Mm-hmm.
We have the occasional craziness,
Yes. 100%.
But yeah, I thought it looked great.
Yeah, no, I liked it. I liked it a lot. Obviously, people are probably going to get mad about that Slovis pick, but
to be fair, they don't know what happened.
That
was my fault.
Now they do.
Yeah.
So,
but I guess I'll close it out from here. Thanks for hanging out with us. Let us know what you think in the comments section below. Let's have that nice, sensual, beautiful football discourse down there. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later. Say later.
Later.